Well, we're back for the last chance qualifiers for the Baltic Trackmania League to decide the last two places going into the finals this weekend, and it's going to be an interesting day to see who can get those last two places, with the winner of this event going into match 3 against Fane, Pizza and Horsemeat, and second place going against Alris, Zyron and Luckiera. And I'm Beamsy, and I'm here with the one and only Izzy Rapids, one of the best voices in Trackmania in my mind. How you doing, Rapids?
Oh, I can't feel bad after you've said that about me.
I
Well,
have
that
to
means
be
I got to say
nice,
something nice about you now.
if you want to. If you
That
want
wasn't in the
to.
contract. Well, you've got the best hair of any man I've ever met. I'll tell you that. That's that.
I
You're getting
mean,
that for
I'll
free.
take it. I'll take it. It works for me.
I mean, not many men have an entire building growing out of their hair. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I try my best. I do try my best. And I really
But
need
yeah,
a
I'm
shave,
I'm,
so
I'm
it's
very
also
happy you're
grown out
back.
my
Yeah,
chin.
it's growing out your.
Yeah, out my
I can
chin.
feel that.
But
It's a
yeah,
marvelous step. But yeah, it's great to be back. I did enjoy seeing the best of the competition from last week to see who was getting in the last chance over there, and now it's the official last chance for those trying to get those last two places. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch.
yeah, you got to do phase 6 with Yug. So you'll be in the know for that map. Obviously, we'll be playing through all 6 maps today, 5 rounds on each. And as mentioned, top 2 will go through. So I had to change a couple of volume settings, so do let me know if the volume's okay or if we're a bit loud or what. And we can sort that as we're going. But yeah, not a massive amount of players today, but we have got Saltins, Marcelli, Crazy Kit Kats, Vive, and Zerftian. And
Like I say, there's a couple of names in here I do recognise from when I was on the last week. I had a look at the rankings a little bit, the leaderboard as well, and I have picked out a couple I do recognise. Obviously, Speeve, I did make quite a comment knowing who they were, because Yod couldn't pronounce their name, and it was baffling to me that a brain rot person such as them didn't know who they were. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this goes down, especially given that we've got a special guest appearing in the game today with us as well.
by that, I assume you mean Marcelli, because that is going to
Of
be
course.
exciting to see how he does. The incredible organizer Marcelli is, and also a very good player. So it will be cool to see how good he is. I know he hasn't massively practiced, but we'll see if he can do it here today.
Well, you know, a competition's good if the organizer's willing to play it. You know, it's not one of those paid actor kind of things. This is obviously the event organizer has a lot of faith in their event to be able to put their name in it and also play as well. So clearly, we're going to see some very good stuff today.
That is the plan, if you ask me, and it's nice to see people going the normal way here. Obviously, the first time I saw this map, there was a big old cut, which has since been fixed. But that's pretty cool.
I did notice that, yeah, thankfully.
Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, Marcelli is the GOAT. Let's just see how he can do with a lack of overall practice. He hasn't really played the map since he tested them, which was quite a long old while ago, not a while away.
By looks of things, it's like riding a bike, though. Seems to have done pretty well there. You know, he's not too far away. And bear in mind, he has got the current best PB of the server as well. Putting in a 54 time there, only 0.4 away from his PB. So I guess we already have our potential front runner. But I mean, by the sounds of things, he's just taking points. He's greedily taking points away from those falling behind him. I don't think he knows himself if he's not going to be using those points up. But you know, it's fun to see that we've got a little bit of a ghost competition to play against here. It's like a lead runner to say, sort of like the hare in a race in a dog race, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Also, if you heard the cat there, the cat is having one of its moments where it decides to want to come in and out of my door constantly, which is real fun. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. I think Crazy Kit Kat's an interesting one. They don't really get Div 1 all too often. I'm not sure if they did this time off the top of my head, but they are generally consistent. They tend to turn up to a lot of the seeding, so there's someone I definitely think is to watch.
It's actually a very close round there between them and Marcelli, because there was a very close run. They had overtaking moments both back and forth throughout that round there. Only a point, 1.5 there between the two of them. So the egregious accusations of pre-prac coming in the chat against Marcelli, but Crazy Kit Kat not letting that get to them. They still got a lot of battle in them against them. Unfortunately, Sultans and Speed both seem to have had a bit of a struggle at the start of this round, however, so they're going to have their own little battle. And Kit Kat as well has had a little bit of battle. So you know what? I think realistically here, it's a two group race now. We got a group at the back and nope, we've just got a group at the back now. Never mind. It's like a normal race, but Marcelli's just here for the Sunday drive.
Why wouldn't you want to be?
I mean, if it was that kind of game, he's acting as a very good slipstream. So Crazy Kit Kat, Sultans, and Speed could maybe get a bit of that draft going. But that's all.
Oh, and Marcelli has left the map.
Marcelli has crashed though.
Oh, but Crazy Kit Kat crashed as well. So.
I love a fiesta. I love a circus.
Yeah. Sultan's only 0.4 behind Marcelli here. Probably not going to be enough to catch him. But yeah, obviously you really want to win today. You know, you want to get that match 3 where you're up against Fame, Pizza, Horsemeat. If you come second, like, yeah, that's cool that you've made it to the finals. But that is a tough first match against Alris, Siren, and Lucky Error. Because Marcelli is still winning. Yeah, comfortably.
Quite comfortably winning. They've taken all of the lead spots so far. I think there's no point in us even having the 15 points position at this point. We might as well have gone 12 and started from there.
Yeah.
So
I'm not really sure why I bothered to check that he's won each round, but you know, my brain went, oh, let me check.
I mean, it was looking quite consistent with the rest of the players for the first 2 rounds. In the first 2 rounds, they all finished in the same place as they did in each one. There's a little bit of a change up in the round just gone there. I think 2 players have swapped positions, so there's now a tie for. Well, I'm going to be considering first seed in this scenario. But the gaps, it's early days. We've only been through a few rounds so far, and it's only the first map after all. We've still got 5 more maps following this, and that's 5 rounds per map as well, so there's a lot of points still to gain. And as we've seen in a lot of competitions, this one I've noticed as well that different maps favour different styles favour different players. So exactly. The points can still go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. And like as you can see there, Crazy Kit Kat slightly better ending, able to overtake Marcelli.
Marcelli who? Come on, if you're not winning 4 rounds in a row, are you even going to win then? Come on. As the organizer, they should be winning every single round, I think.
I don't know, but
maybe I've got too high an expectation, but that's just how I view things around here. I've seen the competition; it's stacked. And 2 cards have flown away.
That was an incredible bounce. But let's just lock it in a little bit as we're going in towards the end of this map. Just have one last look at it. You see the 2 little lines there. Sultan's gone for that slightly riskier line, but just never seems to pay off. I think we saw Jubito doing that line on the map when it was this map. I think they went for that one. It never seemed to quite pay off just because of how bumpy it is. But yeah,
it's very unusual. I get what the route on there is, but I think given its last chance qualifier, and we've already seen on this map particularly, we've already seen quite a lot of mistakes happening at the beginning. Taking the riskier though maybe faster route, not necessarily that important.
No, I think it's over risking there because it would take a lot of effort to get that clean for it to be worth it, and that's a round win for Sultans. Kit Kat second. Could be a lot of risk for that one to actually pay off, I think. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's really worth it, to be honest. I'd rather go for the clean lines. You just hold more speed.
I think when it comes down to last chance qualifiers, especially when we've got a limited pool of players that are going towards those final 2 positions. It's no longer about PBing. It's no longer about being the fastest every time. It's now just about being consistent and making sure that you can get that practice in as well moving into that, should you get those first and second seeds. So these players now, though, yeah, you've seen there are these other routes you can take, the riskier lines and stuff like that. I know for a fact on the last map we'll be doing tonight that there is a very unique line that we saw, I believe, Pizza taking and Bitsy, that was wider but sharper on the downhill, that could result in a nose down that would either zoop you into the finish or completely bonk you out right on the finish block. And those sort of routes, though, yeah, they're going to get you that little bit of time saving. It could snipe a position. I don't think it's going to be too critical to be worrying about going for those sort of scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, it's complicated. You just want to play your game in a situation like this. Just play your game. Don't overstress it at the minute. You know, there's not that many people here. You can have the odd bad round. Just play your game and just hope it goes well. And try not to get it into your own head.
Well, we already know what the habit will be on this map for where I think things might go a little bit wrong. And we've seen it previously I've seen it in another event as well, where a quarter pipe jump can mean so much.
It really can. It's an interesting map. This, I mean, it's the ending that's the real issue. But Fender, I will tell you, this map during the Discovery event, some of the best scenes watching people fail the ending on this. I was a big fan, and I'm really excited myself tomorrow to see how clean people are getting this when they have spent the last few weeks full practicing. We'll see if anyone can cook here. This is looking like a decent run by Kit Kat, holding speed on the outside dirt there, going for the quarter pipe.
Well, almost wheel touch just to get himself pulled over as well.
Yeah,
very close, very close.
Slightly weird line there, but we'll see if they can get the book slide section correct. Not bad, not the best exit speed, but comfortably ahead here, 0.7. You don't need to over-risk, just play your game and hope the ending goes right.
When I was doing my little map review, not map review, but map research or revision, I guess, I had a look at this map, and I'll be honest, the endings wasn't really my concern when I thought about the difficulty of this map. I honestly thought it's just all of the transitional sections at the beginning. Within the first 10 seconds, all of those little wiggles into little rumbles you could have on your car on each landing and stuff like that, and then following that into a quarter pipe jump where a low jump can mean everything or an over jump can mean everything. The ending jump I felt was maybe like that last hurrah. So you know, you've done all those sections right, and you've stressed about all these transitional wobbles and stuff you got to avoid, especially like acceleration penalties and clipping the blocks, just as we've seen Sultans unfortunately do there, and then having to go all the way to the end and then having to rely on that jump. I think you're more under pressure from having done such a good run at the beginning that you've now got to remember that the ending could be where you suddenly make that mistake.
Yeah, you'd think that, but what I noticed in the map release week for this, people were over-risking the end, so they're trying to go for a low jump instead of going for a slightly safer one, just go a little bit more inside and then jump in, and yeah, people didn't want to do that. They just wanted to full risk it and miss the finish.
You don't want to look like a safe driver, do you, I guess?
No. But I feel like tomorrow...
You want to be safe.
Tomorrow is going to be a very different story, having seen people actually practice on the map, and that ending is going to look insane. As is the rest of this map, actually, and that's not the best line there from Kit Kat with the clear. Yeah.
Ooh, that's an unfortunate issue for Sultans, managing to clip between the finish block and the ice block. So
yep, that was
not
quite common.
Finish there. That's a really unfortunate sort of. I know that's how the block is designed, and that's, you know, there's no way around it. But it's a really unfortunate thing where there's no just recovery landing. It's just you're stuck, and then we just saw there as the final player crossed over Zerf there, managed to drop down and land into the second finish. Sultans didn't get that luxury, unfortunately.
No, it's a rough old map, but it is a fun map. It was a great one to cast, and like I say, it's going to be a different conversation why it's great tomorrow, but the levels on this could be insane. And, you know, Marcelli won't have played this map since they properly reviewed the map, so I think this is difficult. I think it sort of shows the issue with this map when you see someone that has practiced it but hasn't played it in a few weeks.
We're seeing it to full effect. We just had two players respawn there just before as well. But you're watching Sultans had to respawn for a second time. Hopefully they make it on this third attempt. They do get it on the third, but that's a big gap they've left themselves, unfortunately. They're 14 seconds behind here. They might, as long as they get this ending right and they don't worry about missing that finish or under jumping. I don't think I'm aware of what the timeout is. It was 30 seconds roughly. Oh, I hope they get that finish in one go then.
Yeah, fair point, Fendari. Yeah, I mean, it's more just, you know, he's not played it in a little while, so think it sort of shows the difficulty to an extent. But it was a very clean run there by Marcelli, as you'd kind of expect, really. But
I mean, we're not seeing too much change in the leaderboard for seeing Marcelli in first place there, still taking the brunt of those tasty 15 points away from these other players. But we have still got competition in here besides that. Obviously, 2 players that are currently with the low points are actually tied up right now, so those 2 need to get themselves to push up to those higher positions. Maybe the maps that we've seen so far, like we said at the beginning, aren't necessarily favouring their skill set, but we've still got, what was it, we got 4 more to go, so still plenty of opportunity for them. But then we look at a Crazy Kit Kat, who's on 98 points compared to the 81 Assault as a second. That's already a pretty good gap they've got. It's a comfortable bit of security they've got going into the next couple of maps.
yeah, they're doing well. And Saltins is a player that I'm not overly sure about. I don't think I've actually seen them playing in any of the qualifiers. But maybe I forgot something. But yeah, they're an interesting one to look at, actually, because they're not a player I'm overly familiar with.
I mean, they've got some decent times. They're putting up some decent competition. We've already mentioned about the fact that they are competing for that second place already in the moment. But having a look at their competition from personal best to the rest of the lobby, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that run they just did there was an actual personal best of theirs anyway. So they're already looking like they're moving up. They're already getting some better times in, and that's, I shouldn't have said anything. Bless them hitting that red light pole right at the beginning of the track.
Do you think they put the salt in? Or do you think they left the salt out?
I don't know if I feel comfortable being around you anymore.
I was trying to use a pun. Come on.
I know you were trying to use a pun. I don't think I don't know if I quite enjoy it. Everyone's crashing because of your terrible pun. Do you feel bad?
Yeah, that. Do I feel bad?
Oh,
I think I'd actually say that I feel salty.
I'll go brain rot. I'll ruin this entire VOD.
No, please don't.
I will do it. I'm not
Anyway,
afraid to.
Speeve is currently in first place. Who does not want to let me switch to? There we go. So can Speeve get around Wayne? But Marcelli coming inside, trying to go for the cleaner ending, and yeah, overtakes. But decent run by Speeve there on a round where everyone's making mistakes. Not a player we've really had much chance to look at so far today.
I have reassurance in knowing that on my first week of doing this, which was obviously just the last week of the regular qualifying, the first name I spotted, bar Moody Monkey Man, of
That's
course,
a good one.
the best name in this entire competition, was Speeve. So in my mind, I am hoping that they do well, just because I've been notoriously known for ranking how well players will do simply on the fact of do I like their name or not, and I think that's a perfectly valid way. We established that your current name, for example, wasn't too far on my list, but the other name you offered me, I think that was worse. So,
right, you cannot. Whoa! Hang on. Right, since this is a nice casual stream because it's the last chance qualifier, hang on. You cannot insult my old school online name. That was one of the best names the world's ever seen. I'm not having this.
I spent.
No.
Did you spend 1,200 Microsoft points on that? Did you?
Yes, I did. I spent a good 6 years or so going by Beamsy Baby, and I stand by that name to the. I'm kind of sad that I'm not still Beamsy Baby, to be honest.
I don't even know how many names I've gone through in my time.
I'll never have that criticism. No, I'm not done here, Rapids. Beamsy Baby is the greatest name that has ever existed online, and that's my point. But we're on to the
random capitals in it?
No.
Okay,
the
you
B was
gained
capital.
1 point back.
No, it was capital B, Z Baby. And I had a logo.
Wait, what? All of Beam was capital, or just the B?
Just the B for Bravo.
Oh, okay. I thought you said BEAM, as in like Beam was all capital. I thought that's diabolical. You paid for that.
But yeah,
I like it because it's got ZI in it, and I've got ZI in it, so you know.
it does these days. It used to be a Y.
I
was
didn't
keeping
know
it.
that.
Nah, it was it was soft and pleasant.
Soft
The
and
eyes
pleasant.
no, no. The eye is a little bit more aggressive, you know, and came later. I'm not sure how to describe my choice of letters any better than this, but let's just not think. Let's just not think about it.
That's impressive. I've never had such a audio description of how letters feel. That's pretty good. Anyway, moving on.
I think the interesting bit for this map, anyway, is the ending. Obviously, when we saw this, I think this was stage 1 actually. Alris really struggled with the ending, messing it up almost every time. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend to see how they do with the ending. Because they were struggling with it then, but I'm imagining that they're going to be pretty comfortable. And we saw Fane win this one, during the qualification phase 1. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this map as well. I will say that about every single map today, because I do really like this map pack. But yeah, it's a pretty cool map, this one.
I did enjoy looking over what the records were doing on this, like especially on the ice slides, where it actually pays to do some really good braking on these to get a sharper turn and precisely pulling it out so you don't have an unfortunate gearing issue or slide out. Especially at the ending, because that ending you can do a really sharp ice slide through it, but it's also pushing a wrist to make sure you don't slide out as a result. Unfortunately, just having a little bit of a look through there, as we saw, Crazy Kit Kat did have a bit of a clip there. Not too much, not falling too far behind. Sultan's really putting a battle to Marcelli here as well, so might be It was a bit of a clip, but thankfully Marcelli also didn't seem to run that quite so well. So the gap's not going to be too much to worry about. You know, still a good battle there between the two of them. I think Sultans might have a decent chance in this map if they're putting it to Marcelli like that.
Sultan's just looking impressive so far, I've got to say.
When they are in the battle right now for,
and I think we've just been called out in game chat.
I can't see it. My player PBs are hiding it because I rather know how good they are, not how much they can call us out.
Sultan said, and this would have been directed to you, you had to yap cast the guy.
I don't think it's my problem. Personally, I don't think it's my fault if the drivers are watching the live stream instead of playing the Last Chance Qualifier.
But yeah, like you're saying here, you know, you can get beautiful.
More in their head now than ever.
Yeah, you can get a beautiful inside line there where you maximise the apex perfectly and you get a beautiful outside speed, which we actually saw Crazy Kit Kat do. But again, you might not know about this issue. I haven't been able to sort it. My numbers for players just randomly switch between rounds at the minute, so it just reassigns itself. So have tried to sort it, can't work out why.
On the back of the cars?
No, my numpad numbers to switch to spectate players.
Oh, right. Because last week, everyone suddenly became 4th in the middle of a round, and it was really confusing for me. I was going to say, is that the same problem you had? I was like halfway through, and I like the round, and I was like, "Yo, what's happened? Everyone's laughed."
Well, that's fine, because, you know, you can just work it out by looking at where people are. But yeah, that's a good round there for Marcelli. Sultan's coming in last. And Sultans went backwards for a checkpoint.
Did we do that? I feel like we might have done that. Oh dear.
But 167, 161st second, very tight top two at the minute. But let's just lock it in for a round here. So let's just see what Crazy Kit Kat can do here. It's looking like a nice drift setup. Trying to maximise that outside, get as much speed as possible coming in. Try and get a clean grass line. Not quite able to do it perfectly, but that's fine. And look at this ice line. Look at that line from Crazy Kit Kat. We've seen them do it a couple times here, but they seem to be getting the best exit out of the ice. Going in for the outside dirt, very clean. And they'll just try and get a nice inside line without oversteering on the grass. This is just a beautiful demonstration run actually by Crazy Kit Kat, getting the drift right. They'll look to go outside with the dirt, which they do, and then nice tight ice slide. and into the finish. And thank you, Kit Kat. I just, I wanted to run through the map and just perfectly doing what we needed them to. So that was good.
Yes, very good run by Crazy Kit Kat. In fact, it was worth mentioning. This is most likely, probably in terms of the competition, their most favoured map. Their PBs say it most. Their lines say it most. Their consistency say it's most. Yeah, I feel like this is just easy points for them to gain up into those, to gain that gap away from Sultans right now.
Yeah, great position, 30-point gap.
Absolutely, and we're looking over to see obviously Marcelli is in first place, but bit of insider knowing that they're doing it.
We're unsure. We're unsure.
Well, currently for the thrill of the game.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of if they come first or second, they'll play. If they don't come first or second, they won't play.
I don't know. But yeah, you never know what's going to change. But all that matters at the minute is that they're first in the qualification. But that's a little clip there by Crazy Kit Kat, letting Marcelli and Sultans overtake. Marcelli getting it cleaner. Sultan's going to be about 0.3, 0.4 behind here going into the checkpoint. Actually, more speed. In fact, never mind. Ignore me.
There's a lot more speed coming out of there.
Yeah. It looked like a bad line from where I saw, but yeah.
The eyesight to tie it up at the end. Did have a momentary slide out at the end. Not enough for Marcelli to catch up. So that does give them that bonus moving through this map. There's 15 points, obviously, very, very important. It's the 3 gap from first to second. That 1 extra point, that does mean a lot for these early games. The more points you get at the start, the easier it is to pull away, of course. But that would conclude the 5 rounds for that map, and I think it did. It did go to show that each map will favour maybe one player in particular. So not to shy away too much from Sultan's Speeve right now. Obviously, Crazy Kit Kat just had their map just there, but Speeve, Sultans, and Zerf, they might be taking this map for themselves as well.
They might. This map, though, I've got to say, right? I didn't know this map going into seeing it when I first saw this map. This, I think, might be my favourite map in the pack. I think it's a really, really cool map. Yeah, I think it's really nice. You got a cute little bug slide, some wood sections. It's a really interesting take on a competitive map. So curious to see what's going to happen.
Sort of like it felt sort of semi RPG-esque in the narrow sections and the general gist as you're moving through this map, the drop downs, the jumps, and the smooth landings. A lot of it felt very RPG. When I was reviewing over the maps, I'm not sure if I would have put it as my first in terms of which is my favorite. I think actually, in fairness, I think the last map 6, might have actually been my favorite. I did quite enjoy seeing how that one played out. But this definitely has its moments. It's definitely got its little points of interest to say. I mean, especially the bug slide over the sand. I feel like that's going to catch out quite a few people because some people will throttle it, some people will maybe push it a bit late just to get one smooth bug slide around it full. Going to be entirely down to how comfortable they're feeling. And, well, curiously, Marcelli doesn't have a time set on this map, so maybe we'll see some interesting things here.
Well, Marcelli would have done the testing for the map, at which point the scenery wouldn't have been done, so probably just didn't play it after map completion. They would have put an hour or so into the map a couple of months ago. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Crazy Kit Kat with an actually insane start there. A little bit awkward to get into the bug slide there. We'll see if they can hold their speed nicely. Marcelli, I think, gaining on them at the minute. Neutralised a bit. Oh, and Kit Kat with the crash. Yeah, love this bug slide here. Such a tight bug slide, really technical, big fan.
As you were talking about that clip just there, there's a fair few people had a couple of minutes back there, in fact.
It's just iconic, I love it. You can risk that ending so much. It's impressive how much of a risk you can put on it. It is special.
I never actually noticed just how big that finish was. I thought it was a lot smaller when I was watching it. So now that you mention it, I feel like there is quite a bit you could push for that last section.
You can really push it. Obviously, you can push too much and go slightly under, hit a tree, whatever. But yeah, it looks like a really difficult finish, but you can really safe it to an extent, as long as you have speed. If not, there is a safe finish, but you can safe it a bit. But you can also really push for a low jump. I really want to know the answer. I want to know the answer to the pace question. Who is pace? Where is pace? When is pace? And how is pace? These are all good questions.
I mean, do we have an answer for that yet?
I don't know. I feel like Crazy Kit Kat could be the answer to pace here. Where is pace?
Yeah,
when is pace? Is it going to be Crazy Kit Kat?
Well, there's been a lot of difficulty in this wood section, though. We've already seen Zerf had to respawn quite a bit there. Just got through the bug side. A bit too sharp, flicking themselves off of it. And that does mean that it's quite a long checkpoint. And they have to do this wood section again, which they are struggling with quite a bit. But moving further onwards into the rest of the map, seeing that Speed will take second place on this. Kit Kat does still take first considerably. You know, almost a 4-second gap. But this map is opening it up a little bit. There's a lot of places where people are having clips and slips and a lot of road border transitions acting as ski jumps for some of these players, unfortunately. And a couple of them right next to checkpoints, which means if they clip that, they've got to go back 10 seconds and got to do it all over again. And it seems to all be happening in that wood section. Yeah,
it really does. How are you feeling for tomorrow, Davino? Your group's Carluki, Bitsy, Starify, I think, off the top of my head, isn't it? For your first match? Feeling good? But yeah, it's a very technical and difficult map, this, and I like it. I'm just a big fan of this map. I really think it's just interesting. As much as anything, because I hadn't heard of Balgab before, so.
Now you mentioned it, yeah, I'm thinking the same. Maybe I've seen 1 or 2 maps with the name, but I don't think I could call them up to memory. But moving through this one now, we're already seeing that 1-second gap for Crazy Kit Kat. They're doing very well from these, including the last map as well. They're doing very well from the last map into this one. Just got to get themselves into a finish without clipping it and unfortunately throwing it quite badly for everybody to manage to get through. I think they did the risk there a bit. I think they wanted to get a bit of a low jump, but they took it very, very wide.
I think Kit Kat might have been maybe on PB pace or something. I thought, yeah, let's get a PB, let's risk. Nope.
I would like to take a look at that copium from that ending there, because yeah, they really, really pushed that last second there.
They did. You have to wonder if they were on PB pace and just went into a little bit of time attack moment.
I've just realised. I think I understand what Sultans is doing. Sultans is watching the opponents, so he knows when they crash, so he knows when he's winning. I think that's the strategy. Because he just watched Crazy Kit Kat crash, and it helped him. I think that's the strat.
Well, I think that's stream sniping. So I'm just going to move on from that one. Ooh, that's a bit awkward.
You could have set a delay. 60-second delay.
There is a delay, to be fair. Look at which shouldn't be for tomorrow. But yeah, Kit Kat is looking good on this map. Obviously that ending went wrong, but they have a decent amount of pace here, at least compared to the competition here, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're not even looking at this as an expected thing necessarily, because if we compare the times between Crazy Kit Kat and Sultans, they should be basically finishing within 0.1 of each other. But it just seems that perhaps maybe this map favoured them more as a rounds-based map as opposed to a time attack map, because yeah, we're looking at these finishes. Though Sultans is finishing second place, there is always a very big gap, 4 seconds, 5 seconds in this round's case. So yeah, Crazy Kit Kat really taking advantage here.
Yeah, Crazy Kit Kat is looking really good actually. I probably could have put them as one of my favourites to stand a chance of getting through here, but yeah, they are impressing me actually. They look like they've put the time in to practice the maps enough that they can compete here. I mean, it's going to be difficult tomorrow for them if they do manage to get through. Either way, but you'd rather be there than not be there, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've come to agree with you that they were looking at being one of the front runners for this. Their pace looks good, their consistency looks good, their name, I like their name.
Oh, it's great.
And that's what matters. Remember, it's always in the name. If the name looks good, then they look good. Unfortunately, they have not crashed on this round. They have had a bit of a wobbled just there as they came through this section, but it doesn't look like it's gone too much against them. I think they're still pushing a very good time here.
Yeah, 1.6 ahead of speed, getting a 53.2. Solid time to get here.
It's all very impressive work from them on this map. I
feel like
can't confirm if that was a sweep. I'm not too sure, but
no,
for the majority of it, absolutely.
Crazy Kit Kat failed the ending on one round.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
Ah, you're all given one mulligan.
But yeah, so we're 4 tracks in. We got Crazy Kit Kat 247, Marcelli 246. I'm just gonna wait for that to bring it back for me actually as the map switches, because I'll just get myself lost in the source of speaking. I don't want to do that really.
Ah, yes, there we go. See, I really enjoyed this map. I really enjoyed
211.
Yeah, so there's still opportunities.
Oh,
you seem to be getting in last into these games. There he
Kaelin,
is.
you've renamed to Sultans, right? Okay, got it.
So yeah, I did enjoy watching this. The ending especially was catching a lot of attention. So I am curious to see what these plays do, because I don't think we spectated these plays in the rounds that we had on the stream last week. So it'll be interesting to see just what kind of options they take, what kind of lines they take going into the ending. The slalom here especially as well caught a lot of players out. I think it might be wiser during this warm-up, maybe just get the lines on here, get that speed through it, because the jump following as well. Quite a few times saw players falling off of there.
Wait, did I get your name wrong again? I keep trying to remember how, since I think Turbo told me what it was, I keep trying to remember, and then I put a different version of it into my brain. But yeah. Oh well. The real question is, are you also going to get Sultans tattooed on you? Because, you know, if that's what you're going by at the minute. But yeah, I've only had a quick look at this map. Obviously, I wasn't here. It was you and Yug, like you say. But it does look like a fun map, this one. The plastic into the... Yeah, it's going to be good.
There's a lot of different things that happen on this map. Sultan's given us an example of one there. Quite a lot of people struggled with that line. Going a bit too far on the outside did mean that they slipped off the sides. Going through here, a lot of players have a hard time not clipping the flag, specifically up here, not falling off the side of the track. But Crazy Kit Kat, as in the last map, seems to be doing quite well. Taking that drift with a double tap just to secure themselves through. Will they try and get this outside dirt as wide as they can? Does look like they're doing a very good job of that one as well. Now it's all going to come down to these final few sections. This grass section coming up, also quite precise. The fastest line through it does require a bit of precision. See if they've got that in the bag as well. It does look very good. Now for the final wood flick into the risky finish. Will they make a good landing? No, nose down. They do get the nose down. It does mean they hit the finish. Oh, so unfortunate.
That was
it happened so many times on the day last week as well. We're still seeing it claiming victims in the last chance qualifier. It's a really unfortunate ending. There's the line that the players are taking. It's a very, very fast line, but depending on how strong you hit that ramp depends just how far you rotate. And if you rotate just a bit too far, then you do just get that concussion straight into the bottom of the finish, and it does make or break the runs sometimes. And in this case, did mean that they lost some position.
Yeah, but that second place is fine for them because Speed won the round, so it's still a net gain, which is the most important bit for them at the minute. Because just a little mid-round point update. Obviously, Crazy Kit Kat now 259 compared to Marcelli's 252. That's quite comfortable. But then you look down to third, you're talking 221, and we only have one more map after this. So it'll be very difficult for Kit Kat to be reached by... Is it Quailin then? Quailin? I wish my brain could remember. But hey, we try.
Start calling them all player 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just have like a paint graphic over the top of it to tell you who's who. Well, thankfully this time they did get to the finish with no issue.
Yeah. Sultan's actual name, I struggle to remember it every time, I swear. I just normally I'm relying on Turbo saying it once, and then my brain's like, yeah, that's the one. Otherwise, I'd just be saying QU Lim. But hey,
You need to get a
whatever.
post-it note and stick it to your forehead so you can see the names in front of your eyes.
True, actually, great idea. Maybe.
Forget post-its on your actual computer. You know, the actual application. No, stick one to your forehead so that you know it's there.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like I deserve that message. So yeah. I think I can deal with it. I think I can deal with a little bit of haunting. That wouldn't be the end of the world for me. But Kit Kat is really. I know we said it before, but Kit Kat's really impressing me here today. They really look like they've put the time in as well. To be fair. I'm impressed. And again, it looks like another clean run.
And it is all going to pay off in the end because I'm looking at the two positions that are up for grabs to go towards the seeding as far as I know. I'm pretty sure it says go towards seeding. So getting that first place will really benefit them in the finals coming up.
Yeah, definitely. We mentioned it earlier. It puts you into match 3 against Fane, Pizza, and Horsemeat, whereas second would put you in against Auris, Zyron, and Lucky Error. And if you can avoid playing Auris and Zyron for as long as possible, that's definitely a good thing.
Well, in fairness, as I recall from the last week, though I don't know if the competition was quite the same from the week prior to the one that I was involved with, Zyron and Fane did have quite strong rivalry between the two of them, but Fane did come out on top quite strong towards the end.
Fane,
so I think it's a bit of a gamble which one you end up getting put into.
Fane is a very, very, very good player. Horsemeat's a very good player. Pizza's been absolutely cooking lately, but the other group has Auris in it. That just means you want to avoid that for as long as possible. And Zyron has got similar pace to Auris when they train properly. So you'd want to avoid that group. You're gonna have a better chance a lot far better chance in match 3 than match 1 on paper. But it's gonna still be a really difficult group.
And in fairness, we're only really seeing Crazy Kit Kat racing against, in some cases, their own times. So comparing what they could be doing in rounds against them could be a totally different game.
Oh, it'll be, yeah. Me watching this map today and me watching this map tomorrow are going to be two completely different conversations.
I mean, we're looking at the end of this one right now as Sultans has a bit of a slowdown in the grass section trying to get through there. Maybe a gear issue, I'm not sure, but it does make them neck and neck. Is it going to change at the end? How close is that?
Oh, almost
a really close finish there for the two of them. 0.018 split in the two of them, and it was a change of position right at the end. So, yeah, again, we're looking at that ending line. It's incredibly risky to be taking it so far with that nose down. Pays off, and when it does oftentimes mean splitting that snipe towards the end and securing the bonus points.
It's probably on paper one of the easier maps in the map pack, in many ways, but it's still very technical. And I believe the next map we'll go into is the one that I'd consider the most difficult in the map pack. So that feels like a nice way to end it. But we gotta get past this one first. But yes.
I mean, if we're looking at the scores as it is right now, with the gap between Crazy Kit Kat and Marchielli at 20 points, and should they continue at the pace they're going with their first and second place finishes, I don't think if they continue at that rate, I don't think they will lose out from their first or second seed positions. I think they pretty much have a comfortable way to say that they should be in the last chance qualifier and get through to the finals.
Yeah, I think it's only just about mathematically possible for them not to qualify now. So they've got 50 points on. Yeah, they've got 49-point advantage going into that round. A little bit less. I think they're 1 round win away, maybe, depending on placements, before they're mathematically through. Something like that.
They did unfortunately come third in that, so the maths are growing in favour to make things a bit more interesting. But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Would you yourself, you wouldn't say? Would you know if they've done well on this map coming up now? Do you think they're going to have a good opportunity here, or is it somebody else's skill set going to come into play? Do you think?
Well, it's hard to judge because we were focusing on Div 1, and I think Kit Kat only got into Div 1 once, I think, during those years. So I can't remember really where they ended up on this map specifically, but this is such a technical map here. Such a map. The precision that you need on this map to get a clean run is kind of insane. Like, this is one of the more difficult maps you can be playing.
We've already got a little bit of match fixing going in the chat there. A couple of people hoping that maybe we'll have our 2 leading cars DNF.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
I mean, if you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to admire the commitment to exhausting all of your options, making sure that there's no stone left unturned. Every opportunity that you have, you give it a shot. I think that's very accurate.
To be fair, it's not cheating if you're not asking, if you're not trying, you're going to pay for it. So, maybe those people are sitting there and go, do you know what? I've sat here for 40 minutes or so playing these maps. Actually, I think I'll just DNF now.
If you're only the person that tells them to press the button and not the one who did, I don't think you're at fault.
Yeah.
No, they voluntarily, through maybe persuasion and a little bit of gaslighting, pressed the button, but that was still their choice. So yeah, of course, I'd say absolutely. See if you can get a couple of players to make things more interesting, make the battle a bit more fierce.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But it doesn't look like it's going to happen, which is definitely the better thing for competition. And that is not the start you need when you're trying to gain on Marcelli and KitKat falling off the map after checkpoint 1. But here we go. I believe I'm going to work it out between rounds actually mentally. But I think if KitKat was to win here, that would guarantee that they're qualified. Wouldn't guarantee first, but would guarantee qualified.
It's very unlikely.
In second.
There would have to be quite a lot of scenarios for him to have not clinched himself already into this. So as far as I'm seeing it, I think Crazy KitKat now is just playing to prevent points getting taken by other players.
Yeah. Ooh, and a clip from Marcelli might give KitKat the chance here to fully come back into this conversation, which they're going to do with the overtake. Now, this is a difficult bit here, just to keep your grip. Try and max that speed as much as you can and push. Okay. And there's a few different lines you can do there, opting for the safer inside. Marcelli risking a bit more. It's going to be very close. Marcelli takes it.
0.031. That's another snipe. It's getting very close towards the endings of these maps. We've already seen that the leads are changing by clips, but then it's the player from behind just coming up with a bit more speed on so many sections. I think that sausage drift maybe was a little bit too sharp for KitKat there, maybe putting a little bit too much on the brake and making that job a bit more awkward for them. So yeah, 40. Good snipe there from Marcelli.
Right, hold on. So they are 40 points ahead. There is only 4 more rounds left. The only way that they can't win is if they don't get a single other point now for the rest of the match, so that they don't go through a single point, in which case they'd be joint first. So congratulations, Crazy KitKat, on definitely qualifying. Let's see if you can lock in the win, which you should be doing imminently. Boomsy on quick maths. It's not something we ever see.
If there is a change in positions here, I don't think it's going to be too much on the seeding side of things. I think it's just going to be more of a they quit, and therefore it makes it look like they're not here anymore. Because we are looking at some dominant competition up in the front here between Crazy KitKat and Marcelli. It was worth mentioning that again with the PB. It does seem like that Crazy KitKat had this. Maybe they've done a little bit more time spent on this map, or they spent more. They got better time attack on it. But the rounds, it did favour them quite well. Whether they get these drifts right though, because Marcelli seems to be getting a lot better consistency on the sections following up from there.
Impressive you say that right after he respawns.
Following up from there.
But yeah. What's that gap now? Oh,
I don't think it's changing. I think first seed.
Yeah, I think this is locked in now. But let's just see how this plays out anyway. You know what they say, it's not over till it's over, so it's nice to get to see Marcelli. It's nice to get to see Marcelli play for a bit. Obviously, amazing organizer Marcelli that really is doing a lot in many events at the minute and keeping themselves very busy. A lot going on. It's just nice to see them actually get time to compete and give it a go themselves, because the amount that they do, it must be nice to finally get to sit down and just show that you are capable of competing, which they are more than. They did very well in the last BTL, despite going through last chance then.
I mean, there's a lot of competition that was going on in this tournament after all. Lots of players coming in to test their mettle against each other. And the last chance qualifier isn't necessarily just those players that didn't have what it takes to qualify, because there is a lot of stuff, like, in the high divs, there was a lot of stiff competition. And of course, with only the limited amount of points you can get from those, it does mean a lot that when these players come into the last chance qualifier, perhaps they may not be going against those that have already got the fastest times in the games that have gone by in the previous weeks, but it still shows that they have this competitive side to them. They've still got this consistency. They've still got the times they can put on the table. So these players, they may be battling in a different sort of scenario right now, but it's definitely going to be good for when they take this going into the finals.
Definitely agree. But what I'll also say, the Baltic region's skill level is really high, and it feels like it's just getting better and better. If we compare this BTL to last, just from the qualification phase, the competition looks so much stronger. And people not making it through, you could argue are unlucky, but it's going to be a great event this weekend, and it's just a nice little... I like sort of a starter meal. This is the starter to the main event this weekend. And you've been part of the starter here, Rapids.
I was a part of the first dessert, the last qualifier. Claiming that. I was the option on the menu that you want but wasn't available, so you had to go with the second one. That's what I was.
I like it, but for today,
the chocolate cheesecake wasn't available, so you had to have the chocolate ice cream.
But for today, you're the starter you're the starter portion for the main event. You've got I don't know, what could you be like? What'd be good? What starter meal would you be, Rapids? That's difficult to think. Soup. You'd be some soup.
No. I wouldn't be the soup. I'd be the melon and parma ham with raspberry drizzle. That's what I'd do.
That sounds good. Yeah, we can go with that. We can go with that. Starter. But it's all locked in now as we go into this round. Let's just see what people want to do with their last round. I think someone else crashed. I didn't clock who it was.
It was unfortunately right at the beginning. Zerf did have a clip. They've been struggling with the start of this map quite a lot. I don't know if they clipped every round, but they have been clipping quite consistently at the start there. Very unfortunate for them. They had shown some promise in a lot of these sections. Of course, they were having early clips, but they were gaining good speed in other sections throughout the track. So I'm thinking maybe, it's the last chance qualifier. Perhaps they've noticed that their points were on the lower side going through these, and they maybe had a bit more pressure in their own mind to, push a bit harder. Yeah. So that is unfortunate for them. A similar sort of case for Spieve here as well. I think they did show some promise. They did come away with some very high scoring rounds, getting firsts and seconds a fair few times. But it's still just showing that perhaps it wasn't all there with the pressure coming to them.
Coming into the end here, though, for Marcelli, and probably the last time we're going to see him, because he's going to be too busy adminning the event to actually play. Almost certainly, unless he decides to change his mind. So realistically, we've seen Kit Kat win, Marcelli second, but that, based on what Marcelli said earlier, that'll mean Kit Kat goes into match 3 against Fane, Pizza, Horse Sweet, and then I guess Kaelin will go against Auris, Siren, and Lucky Arrow, unless Marcelli changed his mind since I last heard, but I doubt it. But yeah, that's been a fun little last chance.
It was good to see all the maps in one big event there, to be honest. I think it was a good way to round out just what the last 6 weeks have been all about and putting it into one big moment here for the last chance qualifier, just to give us all one big refresher for what's coming up in the next couple of days. You mean to tell me people haven't subscribed? Beamsy, come on. Yeah, you should be putting in the word of God and getting either Twitch Prime, all your primers to. Well, no, now I'm suggesting giving money to somebody that isn't me. This is a bad idea. Give me, I don't have it, but give me your Twitch Prime, or just send me $5, and I will bring you an iPad screen while the ads are playing, so you can watch the stream on my iPad instead. No, it's great to be in a part of an event like this. Like I say, the last week thoroughly enjoyed seeing the competition for the last week to get those points to get into the final positions, and then being brought on to help out with the last chance qualifier and seeing some more names I wasn't familiar with, and seeing some more maps I hadn't properly seen, and just seeing, for what we might be ready to look at tomorrow. I think we've noticed there's a lot of skull and crossbow moments that may come up for these maps of a couple of technical sections that could ruin a few runs. So, we've already seen where players might want to be looking to practice a bit more, but we've also seen that some players really got some good opportunities coming up.
And I may or may not have gone onto the ending screen, wait for the ad to end, said a whole spiel, and then realised that I had myself muted. So that's good. So just to reiterate, because of the advert throwing me off, it's been a great day. It's been beautiful to have you here with me, Rapids. Congratulations.
How did you
What?
even mute yourself?
I changed scene and I was already
How?
muted. I changed scene and I was already muted.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We should wrap it up. Right. Well, I'll be back tomorrow with
We will wrap it
Turbo
up.
for the finals. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Yeah, I know it's horrible, Marcelli. It's amazing timing, really. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with Turbo. Rapids is done here and has had a beautiful time, I hope. Have a great evening, and let's look forward to the grand finals this weekend. Bye bye.